Hi, crafty friends. Irene here with Artemis Made, and I am welcoming you back to the Trinity Stamps YouTube channel. I am always happy to spend some time with you, and thank you for visiting with us today. So, I am going to be playing with an oldie but a goodie today, the Once Upon a Mime stamp set. Now, it also has a coordinating die, which I'll show you momentarily, but this is such a lovely little stamp set. It is full of cute little mime characters and all kinds of little add-ons, such as the umbrella and a balloon and a beret and flowers and a bow tie and just on and on. It's so, so cute. I adore this little set. And I decided, you know what? I don't know why I couldn't take a set like that and make it fit the season that we're in. So I decided to kind of do a little interpretive spin on a traditional mime costume, if you will. So my anniversary is coming up, and my husband and I will be married for 17 years, I believe. I got to do the math. I'm not in the mood for math right now, but I believe it's 17 years. And we are, we got married in the fall, we got married in September, but I thought it would be kind of a fun little nod to the time of year that we got married if I did sort of Halloweeny colors. So I remember when I was a kid, I used to see mimes and just be so just completely enraptured in their performance art. I thought it was incredible. And I really seemed to think that they were trapped in boxes. It was very convincing. So I kind of liked the idea of dressing as a mime for Halloween. So I thought, okay, what if we took this little adorable mime stamp set and made it kind of a Halloween costume? So I have some elements of the traditional mime, which are built into the stamp set, such as the striped, um, the tops, I guess, the shirts, and the black suspenders and things like that. But instead of just making everything black and white, I went ahead and just turned it into some Halloweeny colors. So I've got some purple, orange, yellow, and green, and I'm going to be ink blending through the Trinity Halftone Texture stencil. I love this stencil so much. I just think it's really cool. And you can see I masked this area off so that I got a nice crisp line. And then when I did my stamping, I stamped my little characters right on top of where I was going to put that line, the line of demarcation between the white space and the ink blended area. So here I'm just doing some simple alcohol marker coloring. I'm bringing in those traditional mime colors with the black and then the striped shirts, of course. But I am using my Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend markers almost exclusively here. I love that the Spectrum Noir Tri-Blends have three color shades in one pen barrel or one marker barrel, so that can really get an idea of what the different shades are, and you don't have to really think about it too much. It's built in right there for you, a dark, a medium, and a light tone. So really, really great for beginning colorists or for colorists who are not in their craft space currently and are out in their living room with their puppy. That would be yours truly. So that is why I'm using these instead of my Copics today. But I really do love them. So I think they do a great job on these adorable little characters here. So all of these have, like I mentioned earlier, so many cute little add-ons too, with all the different things they could be holding and things like that. But I really liked the idea of the little girl that's just holding the heart, because this is going to be an anniversary card for my husband. So I just thought that the little heart pretty much said it all. And I liked, if you notice, how the little guy at the end and the girl on the other end, they're kind of holding their arms toward the center, and then the little boy's got his arms out. And my husband and I, we always do the, "Oh, how much, I love you this much," and we open our arms like, "I love you this much." So I just thought that was a really sweet touch, and it, made it personal for us. So there's definitely all kinds of ways you can take stamps and make them fit whatever season you're in. So this is where I deviated a little bit from a traditional mime costume, I suppose. Usually you see black and white, and then sometimes you get some red thrown in. But I decided that, yeah, why not do it in not necessarily a rainbow, but in, a Halloween kind of rainbow, I guess. So I thought that this was a really nice touch, and it corresponds with the color that is ink blended. beneath each of these little characters. And I did this on an A2 panel, so I had the whole thing all the way cut out into A2 size, and then you'll see me trim it down a little bit too. Now, I am just pulling in some darker areas right around the faces, and in this particular one's wearing a skirt, so on her legs, her hands, and then I bring in some little pinky peachy, rosy kind of cheeks there. And then I wanted to have several different skin tones, so I really had some fun playing around with different shades of brown. That very first girl that I colored, I used the fair skin blend, but there aren't enough types of skin tone in the Spectrum Noir line. So I really just made my own, and I thought, you know what, it's beautiful. There are so many different gorgeous colors in the world, and I want to represent them all. So I just kept going with it. So this next little fella is made with the gold brown blend, and I did their skin tone first, and then later on you'll see I go in and do the hair. So this is a great opportunity to take a stamp set that you wouldn't normally think of as a holiday or as an event set necessarily, and think, well, what can I do with this to make it fit whatever season or event or occasion I have going on right now. For example, you could take one of these little characters, pull a graduation hat maybe from another set somewhere, and there you go. You've got little kids graduating from, kindergarten or high school or whatever the case. So you can absolutely take these and make them whatever fits your need at that time. Okay, and if you notice the little guy right before this, um, I painted, I colored his hands to match his pants. And that's because he's the only one that I thought looked like might actually be wearing gloves. Because I know some mimes wear gloves, and the others had a decently continuous line for either their clothing or for their hands to just be a natural hand color. So I could have done gloves on the other ones as well, but on his, that little line that was right at his wrist made me think, you know what, these are going to be gloves on this little one. Okay, so now I'm doing some hair coloring here. You see me getting started with the hair. I struggle with coloring hair. I will be perfectly honest. So this is me really giving it a shot, trying to allow myself to be comfortable with just letting my lines show, because I know that is a really good technique for when you're coloring hair, is to just let those line marks show because it looks like strands of hair. I I'm used to just coloring and blending so that there aren't those harsh lines, but I know that it really does work for that particular look. So I'm working on getting comfortable with it. I don't know if I'm there quite yet. I definitely still have a lot to learn, but you just keep practicing and you just keep working at it, and you will surprise yourself at what you can manage. Now for this one too, I didn't have the right color for his hair, so I used that same gray shade that I did on their pants and everything, and then I went over it with that golden brown. So I was able to combine or blend together the brown and the gray to get a nice, really deep, dark brown. So here is my panel that I'm cutting down. It is all colored. It is ink blended. It's very simple. It could be very easily a one layer card, but I wanted to give it just a little bit of dimension by popping up this panel itself. Now and you saw I put my sentiment down there, and the sentiment says, I love you with all my heart. I love a pun. My husband knows I love a pun. So it wouldn't be an Irene card if it didn't have something silly or punny or something just to make you smile. So I went ahead and cut down my panel. I just took a 1/4 inch off, and I kind of gauged where I wanted that 1/4 inch to be because I wanted there to be less white space and more of the ink blend. Or I'm sorry, the other way around. I wanted some more white space and a little less of the ink blend. So I went ahead and popped it up on a panel, and then I grabbed my number 10 white Jelly Roll pen. And if you hear a little bit of growling in the background, I do apologize. My puppy is upset that I'm not paying very close attention to him at the moment and doing a voiceover. So we'll just let him have his moment. Okay, so you can see here I just did some white highlights, and I did on their cheeks, on their hair, on their clothing, just a little bit here and there. And I just think that that adds a little bit of something fun, and helps show where the light would be. And then I pulled in some of the newly released uh, polished white embellishment mix from Trinity, and I am loving these polished embellishments. They are like kind of satiny looking and very reflective, just really pretty. So I'm a big fan. So here we go, folks. This is my card. I hope that you had some fun with me today, and I hope you were encouraged to grab some paper and craft something that really makes you smile. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like and subscribe, and make sure you come back to the Trinity Stamps YouTube channel for more inspiration and amazing designs. Thanks, friends. Take care. Bye.